I had lunch with someone and I was telling them that I had a call with a very, very, very large tech company yesterday to do some programming with them. And the person I was having lunch with said, wait 1 second, you really need to just give yourself a pat on the back for even getting someone from that company to talk to you, regardless of what happens. And I didn't even think of that. I just thought, well, no, I will celebrate that if I get the project or if I get the work, not thinking about I should actually be celebrating that someone even got on a Zoom with me to talk about myself and my work. So I think sometimes when you are a high achiever, you wait for, a big win, and we really need to celebrate these smaller wins that happen along the way.
You are now listening to the podcast where authors inspire listeners to become authors, the Going North Podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer, best-selling author, and book enthusiast Dom Brightman. And you're going to be listening to a different author that will inspire you to join the business of immortality, known as authorship. Now let the fun begin. Today's episode is sponsored by the GoingNorthPodcast.com shop. It is going to help you have northbound direction to your own success. If you want a great inspirational quote like advance others to advance yourself, or today a reader, tomorrow a leader, heck, even some puns like pile on and always fully booked on your tote bag, mug, hoodie, heck, even a t-shirt, and many, many other items, head over to GoingNorthPodcast.com, click on the shop tab, and cop yourself some merchandise indeed. And that's GoingNorthPodcast.com/shop. Welcome back, or should I say we're back at you again on the Going North Podcast, the wonderful highlight reel builder for authors. We got another super special awesome human for you today, my friends. That's right, indeed, another super special awesome human indeed, because we got one of those butt kickers in the building. That's right, indeed, because today's guest, you're going to be in for a treat that's good enough to eat. She's going to have you wearing pom-poms and yoga pants and spelling out your own name in the letters, indeed. That's right, indeed. Mini skirts ahoy, too, just for the heck of it. That's right, indeed. Because today's wonderful guest, we got a wonderful corporate facilitator, as well as a wellness and leadership coach, as well as a wonderful NLP-certified executive coach, burnout management specialist, and all-around super special awesome humans. Let's give it up for the natural in kind, the one, the only, Neelu Kaur. How you doing today, Neelu?
Good. How are you? And thank you for pronouncing my name correctly.
Ah, good. All right, the vegans are happy I didn't butcher it. Good.
No, you did a great job. Oh, I'm excited to be here.
Yes, indeed. Excited to have you here indeed. That's right, indeed. It's about filling in any cavities I may have missed about you and what makes you the Neelu that you are today.
So, where shall we begin? We shall travel back in time when I was in grad school at Columbia, and I majored, or my master's in social and organizational psychology. So when I finished my program, I knew I was moving in the direction of training and coaching, and I started working at a very large organization with technologists. So I was specifically assigned in a technology business, working with technologists, engineers, software developers, and I was helping to train and coach them. So I knew that that was something I was really good at and I really enjoyed. So when I got downsized is when I started my own journey down entrepreneurship, or rather solopreneurship.
Uh, Good old downsizing, the bane of everyone's existence.
Yes.
Until they, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I might hold the record for being fired or downsized, the most downsizings and the most firings in probably a career. So I'm always the one to be let go. And that's why in 2013, when I was downsized, I decided that I would never be downsized again.
Ah, that's right, indeed. It's still so young too. It's like, man, was it downsizing like every 3 months?
Basically. And I would jump ship. Like I would say, oh, this organization sucks. And so I would be there for a year and a half. And then I'd move to a similar organization. Say, oh my God, this organization sucks even more. And so I just found myself in this repetitive cycle. And I really think it's because of a couple of things. One is I really truly found some of those cultures in those organizations completely toxic. But on the other hand, I think I just really sucked at self-advocacy. I did not know how to speak up for myself. And I think that's what led to getting fired and downsized numerous times.
I hear you indeed. I hear you indeed. Because, yeah, that's like the major thing that really sets a lot of folks apart from really having what they truly want in life is just being bold enough to advocate for themselves and really put themselves out there and not just go the wonderful route of letting your work speak for you. Because, yeah, it'll speak for you, but at a low volume sometimes. It's like you have to add a megaphone on top of it from your own mouth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. In fact, did you quote that from my book about adding a mic to the bullhorn?
Yeah, there you go. That's right indeed. I blame the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, for that one. All the microphones and the megaphones. That's right indeed. Scream from the rooftops. That's right indeed. Drop pigeon poop on people till they recognize you. Metaphorically.
Well, that I haven't heard of.
That's right indeed. If they hate it on cars, they're gonna hate it on themselves. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So my goodness, so getting over that wonderful, or should I say not so wonderful, I guess, habit of low self-advocacy. What helps you to realize, you know what? I'm tired of this BS. Folks got to know that I am freaking Neelu. Dang it. I got a radiant light to share with the world, and they're trying to keep me in the darkness.
I think this happens to a lot of people and many of my clients who are in jobs that they're in the job because it pays their bills. And that is a noble reason to be in a job. But in terms of fulfillment, they don't feel fulfilled. And I think for me, I've always sort of been chasing that feeling of fulfillment, feeling like I'm serving my purpose. And in the jobs that I had in organizations, I never felt like I was purposeful or that my work really mattered.
Ah, there you go. It's now up to folks to find the work that matters to them, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. And not to say that only happens in entrepreneurship. That can happen in a full-time position as well. It's about aligning yourself to a culture that you feel, aligns with your values and your belief system.
There you go. Sure indeed. Yeah, it's all right indeed, because I think that's the other thing too. It's like folks view entrepreneurship as this wonderful romantic thing in this fairy tale. Where it's like, oh yeah, quit your job, get six figures, and live happily ever after, and then you'll get to have a pony unicorn and a tricorn. It's like, no, there's gonna be some wonderful traps waiting for you along the way. That's if you make it out alive. And it's like, hey, maybe just focusing on being an entrepreneur instead, maybe finding a company and enjoy working with, though, or something else, as opposed to just going to full jump ship and try to build your parachute on the way down out of the jumping out of the plane.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because it made me think of something where I've actually coached people to find crutches before they start walking on their own. So if you are exploring the idea of entrepreneurship, thinking about how do you partner with organizations where they're sort of like a crutch until you're out there business developing on your own, like you're developing your own portfolio of clients. You might have to partner with organizations in the interim to get the experience that you want. So you want to think about having these crutches. And I think a lot of people think that there's one magic pill for success, one magic pill for happiness, one magic pill for entrepreneurship. And I think that's absolutely not the case. It's a cocktail of things. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's like having your portfolio filled with different avenues of income.
Woohoo! That's right indeed. From Fifth Avenue to 88th Avenue. That's right indeed. All the avenues. That's right indeed. Might even have a sack with it. That's right. Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So my goodness, so you're able to find the confidence to join the business of immortality with your fabulous book of called Be Your Own Cheerleader. So my goodness, what helps you finally put on the pom poms, metaphorically speaking?
What helped me put on the pom poms? Well, as I told you, I sucked at self advocacy, and it's something that I realized I really am bad at this. And for many years, I thought it was just me. And then as I started training with different organizations and bringing in my workshops and then coaching individuals, I realized it's not just me. It's a lot of people that struggle. So it's not just Asians and South Asians, but it's also people who are extremely introverted or neurodivergent. And so be your own cheerleader, although there's a cultural lens to it and it talks specifically about Asian culture, it's also relevant and salient for anyone that struggles in speaking up for themselves at work and even personally.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because you're gonna need it in both areas. You can't just be at work all the time and freaking or be just at home only. Because it's like, hey, still gotta at least have a voice. You can't just be mute unless you are mute.
Well, yes. And the way we are in one instance is how we are in other instances. And in the US, anyways, or North America, we spend the majority of our life at work. So it's like, let's figure out how to self promote and self advocate at work so that we can carry that on into our personal lives as well.
Sweet. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Because, yeah, you're definitely right, indeed. How we do one thing is how we do all things, indeed. So, with all the clients that you helped to really get to that next level in life, to really finally enjoy the fact that, hey, they got some wins under the belt and being able to toot their own horn, as they say. What do you think is the major thing that help, or, well, not helps, what do you think is the major thing that sets people back from finally, or at least before you help them to really break through? Like, what do you think holds folks back from that?
I think for many people, and I can speak from my own lived experience as an Indian raised in the US and other Asians, we come from collective, we based cultures, and North America is very I based and very individual. So, what that actually means is those of us that come from collective cultures or are raised by parents from collective cultures, we are taught to think about the group, to put our head down, to work really hard, especially if you're an immigrant. And so what happens is that's how you are raised. That's the behavior that you see modeling to you. And so when you get into corporate America and you are supposed to do great work, but you're also supposed to raise your hand and say, hey, 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 I did this work. And we just don't have the skills to do that. And so that I think is the biggest struggle. And so not just with Asians and South Asians, but just people in general who, for example, engineers. I work a lot with engineers who are really good. They're subject matter experts at what they're doing, and they just struggle with putting on the pom poms and saying, no, 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 that was my idea. Right. So I think there's different sects of groups that really struggle, but I can speak through the cultural lens of being a South Asian raised in the US.
Ah, there you go, indeed. That's right, indeed. And there's some great content out there too for the wonderful Asians. Heck, even just about everybody, because anybody can learn from the book. Because the good news is, it's like, yeah, there's some special stories that speak to Neelu coming from experience. But hey, like if you go down to the foundation, it can work for just about anybody.
I agree.
Ah, yes, ma'am, indeed. Yes, ma'am, indeed. And that huge pressure, the good old immigrant edge, as some call it, where they come over seas and fight tooth and nail with five fire-breathing dragons and like 2,000 crocodiles, and one of them posing as crocs when you have more of their feet to finally getting over the edge. Probably having to deal, I guess, with the pressure from parents and things like that, because emotional wellness is even part of that too with your wonderful experience of helping folks overcome burnout, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, in Asian cultures, burnout or mental health struggles are just not spoken about. And so the issue of burnout in mental health and mental well-being at work is something that Asians and South Asians, Pacific Islanders really struggle with.
Yes, indeed. And if I'm not mistaken, I guess dealing with some panic attacks yourself led to you adding that to your repertoire of emotional wellness for helping others to hopefully not have the same experience.
Very true. And you've done your homework. Yes, I used to have debilitating panic attacks, and I just did not have the vocabulary or the language to describe what I was experiencing, nor did I feel like I could bring it to my parents because to them everything was just like we have food on the table, that's it. It's a very fear-based mentality when you are an immigrant or first generation child of immigrants. Is It's all about survival. And so when you're having any mental health challenges, there's not really a space to bring it up. So yes, I was my first client and had to figure out ways to help myself before I could go out and help others.
Sweet. So I'm talking about. Be your own first client. Be your own cheerleader. That's right. Be your own vitamin C. That's right, indeed. All the seas at sea. Even the oceans. That's right, indeed. From Atlantic to Pacific. And for those with the hearing, it can be specific too, even though it's not a specific type
I love this like play on words, and yeah, you're really active at for 10 p.m. at night. So this is great.
Yeah, I told you it was a danger zone. So I guess being your own first client too, and being able to overcome that and helping folks to avoid those pitfalls and giving folks shortcuts. So I was like putting this book together because I'm pretty sure there's probably some self-talk you probably had to deal with, at least the negative part of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have a really good story about the process. So I was in a coaching program and I went to the teacher and told her about my idea. And she said, well, you have a very busy schedule. You're traveling all the time. This is before the pandemic, where I was facilitating a lot of workshops in person. And she said, why don't you just Google retreats, like writers' retreats, and see if you can just go away for a while and write. And so when I Googled it, the first retreat that came up was Highlights. And I'm not sure if you know what Highlights is, but it's a children's magazine. And those were the magazines that you find in dentist office and doctor's office for kids. And those were the magazines that my mom used to teach me English and to also learn English for herself. So Highlights held such a special place in my heart. So even though I'm not a children's lit author or writer, I contacted them, I told them the story, and they said, oh my goodness, you are welcome to come here. So I would actually frequently go to Highlights, and they're in Pennsylvania. I'm in New York, so not that far away. And I was able to go and just be on my own. So I wasn't part of any organized writing group, but what I did have the opportunity of doing was speaking to and having meals with a lot of the illustrators, the authors, everyone in that sort of YA, young adult publishing world. And so I learned a lot just by networking and being there with people who were writers and authors, and it was amazing.
Sweet, that's what I'm talking about, indeed. That good old Mary Jane with the light bulbs. That's right, indeed. The wonderful highlights, indeed. That's right, indeed. 'Cause, yeah, great magazine. Glad it's still around too, even now that they have a bilingual one is too, if I'm not mistaken. Is
Oh,
well,
I did not know that. Are you familiar with Highlights?
I mean, yeah, my day job is a librarian.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to look this up. I did not realize that they made Highlights in different languages.
Yes, I think it started a few years ago before the pandemic. I believe it's a English and Spanish version, and then at least that's the ones we get. And there may be some other languages, hopefully, but yeah, they're definitely expanding. It's right, indeed, expanding like waistlines a few years ago. Ah, man. Somebody get us some being able to have that wonderful story and gain some access to the wonderful organization that's helping out the kids from all over the one globe. My goodness, you're able to want to put some wonderful content out there. So, was there any writer's block that popped up on the way to finally hitting that publish button?
Yes. Yes, 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 many times. And so just like with anything else, discipline is your friend. And so anytime I was feeling blocked in any way, I would just sit there with a blank page, and whatever came out came out. Sometimes it was great and sometimes it wasn't, but just having a plan in your calendar to write. So when I would come back from the retreats and I would have my busy work schedule, I tried to carve out time for writing. And sometimes that worked and sometimes it didn't work. And then the pandemic happened, which was actually a plus for me in that I was sort of hunkered down for a little while, and that was put the accelerator on finishing my manuscript.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. And I'm also glad you're reading it too, so that way you can reach the folks who probably are on the go or probably have some low vision. So my goodness, so if you've been getting questions yet about book number two, now that you finally got number one out the way.
Absolutely. It was the next question after I just published. I said, this was a huge journey. So if you are a first-time author, there's many routes you can take. I wanted to be on the traditional publishing route. And so I found an agent, and then we found a publisher. So it's a long, arduous process. So I am spending this year focused on programs around Be Your Own Cheerleader and starting to think about topics for book number two. I haven't started writing. I think I'm still in the marketing, promoting phase and speaking engagements regarding Be Your Own Cheerleader.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, indeed. I'm talking about, indeed. So, my goodness, so with all the magical marketing, a fun marketing question for you. So, if your wonderful book, Be Your Own Cheerleader, if it were a food, what would it be and why?
Oh, interesting question. I mean, the first image that just came up in my mind was a mango, and I don't know why. I mean, I just had a mango a couple of hours ago. Maybe that's why, but yeah, maybe it is a mango. It's the color of the mango when you peel it is the color of the cover of the book. Mangoes are my favorite fruit. And when you cut them up into small pieces, they're digestible. And so Be Your Own Cheerleader is cut up into small pieces to be digestible.
Woohoo! Give me an M. That's right. Give me an A. Give me an N. Give me a G. Give me an O. Mango. What does the dad say about the mango and divorce women? She let that man go. Yeah, mango. Yep. That's right. That's right indeed. Be your own cheerleader, y'all. Let that man go. That's right indeed. But eat the mango. This is the mango you eat. This ain't the one you let go.
Wow. If I could take a little tour of your mind, I think I would be in for a joyride.
That's right. You'll come out with Albert Einstein hair, except instead of white, it'll be rainbow. That's right indeed. And then you'll have a camel hump next to you with a unicorn on the other side. That's right indeed. And then maybe a Bible mixed with the Quran. That's right. It'll be like all the religions. And of course, a random apple pie in your backpack.
Or pumpkin pie, since it's going to be pumpkin season soon.
Are you a pumpkin person?
I love pumpkin pie.
There we go. Ah, I love when folks mention pie, and I didn't even have to mention it. It's like, all right, I spoke it into existence. Occasional references to pie. All right. Oh, God. So, my good since you're in the marketing phase of the magical book and helping folks to really get off their buns and really boost themselves up, is there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often when you're being on these podcasts?
I think one of the questions I was actually recently asked, and no one had ever asked me this before, and I thought it was a very good question. It was, how do I tap into my inner cheerleader when I need to? And I thought that was a genius question that no one had ever asked me. And the answer is there's a couple of things. Actually, there's multiple things I do, but for those listeners that need something right away, one of the things that I do is I speak in third person. And so that helps me feel a little bit more comfortable. So instead of saying I did this or I received this or I accomplished this, I will speak in third person. I will say Neelu accomplished this. Neelu wrote Be Your Own Cheerleader. Neelu did XYZ. And when you are in third person, it actually you create an emotional distance. And when you start to feel more comfortable is when you can then move into more of the first person. So that's one strategy.
Sweet. There we go. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's a solid strategy indeed. So you imagined yourself as the rock and telling the negative side to snowy roll and shut your mouth. It's Neelu time. That's right indeed. Because the Neelu said. right indeed. That's right indeed. Third person. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So you're the right folks. Walk up to random strangers and talk to people in third person. Try and throw them all off. That's right indeed. And when they turn their back, you write down the name Pat on a sticky note and you stick it on their back. And when they turn around, it'll be all over. They already got their pat on the back. That's right. That's right. I was messing with folks. Don't do it. I mean, if you do, it'll be hilarious. But you love to see. You love to see it. And yeah, that's definitely a good tip right there, indeed. Because a lot of times you forget stuff, and you got to remind yourself of stuff. And when you say your name, it becomes even more real because it's like, oh wait, that's freaking me. All right, I like hearing my name, so it's like, oh yeah, yeah, this is me. All right, I am great, and I like myself, and I like it. And if other folks don't like it, well, that's their problem.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And it's so right too. And that was a good question too, because yeah, you're so right. It's like, yeah, be your own cheerleader. It's like living up to the book in your own life, because I'm sure with a lot of high achievers, you definitely being one of them. It's like, oh, there's probably times where you're probably so summit obsessed you forget past victories. It's like you forget the wonderful replay of victories in your mind. It's like, oh, let me focus on this next thing here without realizing, oh, let me cheer myself up and not wait for others to do it for me.
Well, that's exactly the thing, right? When you're a high achiever or you're always striving for the next big thing, you lose sight of things and you think that it's just normal. But when you're saying it out loud to someone else, even you realize, like, wait a second, that isn't actually a big thing. Like I had something similar happen today. I had lunch with someone and I was telling them that I had a call with a very, very, very large tech company yesterday to do some programming with them. And the person I was having lunch with said, wait 1 second, you really need to just give yourself a pat on the back for even getting someone from that company to talk to you, regardless of what happens. And I didn't even think of that. I just thought, well, no, I will celebrate that if I get the project or if I get the work, not thinking about I should actually be celebrating that someone even got on a Zoom with me to talk about myself and my work. So I think sometimes when you are a high achiever, you wait for, a big win. And we really need to celebrate these smaller wins that happen along the way.
Woohoo! That's right, indeed. Love the call back to the pat on the back. You love to see it. That's right, indeed, because it's so true. Like, hey, getting on the phone with somebody, it's like, shoot, or in this case, a Zoom call with somebody. That's freaking huge. Because it's like, all right, they set aside time. It's like, all right, they like something they saw about me. They're taking me
Exactly.
seriously.
Exactly. So that deserved a pat on the back. And so I didn't do that until she told me that I should do that. And I said, wait a second, I should be my own cheerleader here. And so on the way home, I really just let myself revel in that. So I don't care. I mean, I do care. I would like the work I do want to work with this company. I do care about the outcome, but I did in that moment just revel in the fact that I was able to capture this person's attention to be on a Zoom call with them for 30 minutes.
That's right, indeed. No escape. You got him. That's right, indeed. 30 minutes. It's like, pitch city. No escape now.
Yes, Pitch City, absolutely.
That's right, indeed. It's not just tents there, it's skyscrapers. That's right, indeed. Spaceships to the moon and Venus. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. As well as Mars, too. Forgot about Mars. But hey, that's what I'm talking about right there, indeed. As I'm talking about right there, indeed. So, my goodness. So, speaking of being obsessed with summits, with burnout management, I'm pretty sure it's probably been burnout on the way. So, my goodness, any tips for folks who may want to avoid burnout, or at least making sure that they do some better self-awareness?
Yes, I have so many, and that's actually a problem. There's so much information out there on things to do that people can get burned out just by looking at articles, listening to podcasts. So I say pick a couple of things that you hear and implement them. So discipline is one thing, and then having some routines. So some morning routines, some evening routines. And I think the simplest routine to have that sort of sets you up for success is to not have your phone next to you and start your day without your phone. So ideally an hour, but most people say they can't do an hour. So I say 30 minutes. to ease into the day, whatever that looks like for you. So if that's meditation, if it's just sipping on some tea or some coffee, whatever it is, do that without your phone. Because what happens is when you reach for your phone and you start responding to text and social media and emails, you are training your brain to be reactive and distracted all day. And then you're starting your day out in this place of overwhelm. So if there's one tip I would say to anyone is to start your day without your phone for 30 minutes.
Sweet. That's right indeed. Give yourself that half an hour. It'll be too sweet to be sour, y'all. That's right indeed. Give your eyes a break from that light of the smartphone. The wonderful cocaine of technology. That's right indeed. Or should I say technology's cocaine, where you sniff away your attention from it. That's right indeed. Or should I say it sniffs the attention away from you. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Where you wake up and scroll and then you realize, oh crap, what happened in the past 20 minutes?
Right. Or you look at, you're scrolling, and then you see people's lives that look so amazing. And then you start feeling really bad because your life isn't that amazing. And it's a vicious cycle to start your day on social media.
Like, yeah, it could be the borderline news somewhat, depending on what you follow and what shows
Right.
up on your feed. It's
Right.
like, oh, darn, don't start your day off with that. That's a trap.
Exactly. Exactly right.
There you go, folks. So if you need an alarm clock, just somehow get one of them old school ones that'll ring out loud, put a bear trap next to your bed. So that way you'll have the double alarm effect. Your foot will be caught and you'll be awake, getting the bear trap off your foot and turning off the alarm instead of your phone.
I mean, you could put your phone in airplane mode and have an alarm. So you can still use your phone as an alarm, but then it's the discipline to turn that alarm off without getting on the phone. So you can reach for the phone, turn it off, and then put it down. So, yes, it does take discipline. So if your phone is your alarm and you don't want to purchase an alarm clock, because maybe they don't even make alarm clocks anymore, I don't know, but that's an option.
Also, no bear traps. I was messing with you. Don't actually do that, folks. Oh, this is one of the toy bear traps. Oh my goodness, my goodness. So since you got the entrepreneurial swag all over you now, doing it full time and bounce back from all sorts of wonderful setbacks and turn those lemons into lemonade and turn those songs from good old school television black and white to full LCD color. Has there been a major setback that actually became a major success for you outside of the, well, I guess bad at the time downsizing, but good at the time entrepreneurship for you?
A major setback that's become a major success. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is there's so many. There's so many setbacks. So I would say, if you are consistently getting downsized or fired, I truly believe the universe has a plan for you. And so one of my friends says this pretty frequently. She says, what's meant for you won't miss you. So just know and trust the universe. And for me, I think having gone through so many downsizings and feeling really bad about myself during the time, it's just to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Woohoo! So I'm talking about indeed. That's right indeed. There's definitely light. It'll be sunshine and rainbows. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. There may be a puddle, but that's it. That's right indeed. Don't worry. There won't be one of those traditional evil mermaids in the puddle either. That's right indeed. It'll be a regular mermaid, the peaceful one, the Disney kind, the friendly one. Man. So I got us to coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you're to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're still in the current year, what advice would you give to yourself?
Get out of the way and keep it moving. So get out of your way, get out of your own way, and keep it moving. And don't sweat the small stuff. Because I know for me in my 20s, especially 25, I was sweating the small stuff. Everything felt so big and huge. And now looking back, it was just a small blip on the map of my life. And so don't sweat the small stuff, get out of your way and keep it moving.
Yeah. So I'm talking about indeed. That's right, indeed. Don't sweat the small stuff, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right. Just because you're in Connecticut doesn't mean that there's a big, giant continent of Africa waiting for you. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right. That's bigger and better. That's right, indeed. For some folks, it's bigger and better waiting for you. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So don't sweat that small stuff and go for it. That's right, indeed. If the alter ego of nonsense is trying to talk negative into you, it's like, forget that. Throw a pom pom at it and use the other one to cheer yourself on. That's right, indeed.
That is really good. A great visual. Throw one pom at the imposter monster that's happening, and then use the other pom pom to cheer on for yourself. I love that visual.
Sweet. Can always get winners out of conversations like this, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So, my goodness. So, for those who need to join the Neelu franchise and want to get to their metaphorical Super Bowl in life by working with you and copying some copies of your magical books and keeping up with your journey, what's the best way for folks to do so?
My website, neelukaur.com, LinkedIn under my name. I'm on Instagram, neelu.kaur, and my book is available everywhere. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, anywhere you can find books. My book is there.
Woohoo! There you have it, folks. That's right, indeed. If you want a halftime show, that'll be the whole freaking game. Follow Neelu indeed. Keep up with all the stuff that she's doing. And she's got you covered in all areas, ebook, regular book, as well as audio book too. You can have it on the go. Get the voice in your brain. That's right, indeed. All right, be your own cheerleader. That's right, indeed. Spelling out your whole name in letters. That's right, indeed. And if you got a long name like the host, if you know his real name, then yeah, you'll be in for a good time. That's right, indeed. You will have Pilates classes all day, indeed. So make sure you keep up with Neelu. We're going to put a link to her wonderful site and things in the show notes so you can join the metaphorical Neelu franchise and get to Yo Stanley World Cup, indeed. So, my goodness, Neelu, any parting words before I close up shop?
Dom, this was definitely an interesting experience for me. So thank you.
If you're hearing this part of the episode, that means you're one cool individual. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and if you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to share it with at least one other person in your network. Bonus points for 3. And be sure to check out the backlog too while you're at it, because there are hundreds of wonderful episodes to choose from as well.